All right. Well, as we get started, I definitely want to introduce myself. My name is Liz Coleman, and I'm one of the enrollment advisors here for our Frost School of Music programs. And so we are excited to be able to welcome you all here today. Before I introduce our special guest, I do want to cover a few housekeeping tools. Just to give you an idea of what to expect, this is going to be roughly a 45-minute session. And we know that many of you are either starting your day with us or spending your lunch hour with us. So we certainly want to be courteous to your time and making sure that we're providing you with everything that you need. For the program. So this session is also going to be recorded. So if life happens and you need to leave early, that is no problem at all. You will get a recording emailed to you here in the next few days. That way you can go back and review any information that you might have missed. In addition, you are always welcome to reach out to our enrollment advising team should you have any questions about the admissions process, applications, even financial aid, as there's some very particular deadlines coming up. But if you have questions, for me from an admissions point today, definitely feel free to utilize our Q&A feature, and that will be at the bottom of your screen. In addition, we are going to cover a lot of questions with our faculty, our program director, and an alum that we have today. So if there is a question that we do not get to and you want to ask it, use that Q&A feature for that as well. With that being said, I want to go ahead and introduce our special guests for today. We have two faculty joining us this morning. We have Gary Wood and Ray Sanchez. I do not want to steal their thunder, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves in just one second. But in addition, we also are excited to welcome Rachel Hanusa. She is our program director, as well as Tyler Rambo, who is an alum for this program and currently works as an executive director of the Georgia Symphony Orchestra. So guests and panelists, we are thrilled that you are all here. Rachel, with that being said, I'm going to lean it over to you. I know that our students can hear from me anytime, but they certainly want to hear from you guys. So I'll let you go ahead and take it over with the questions.
Thank you. And hi, everyone. My name is Rachel. I'm the director of Frost Online. I'll be handling the questions today to our panelists. We are going to actually start with Taylor, who is one of our alums. He graduated from the live entertainment program and, like Liz said, is now working as executive director of the Georgia Symphony Orchestra. So Taylor, can you tell us a bit about what your career path has been since graduation, and if receiving your graduate degree has had an impact on where you are now?
Absolutely, yes. Well, after I graduated from the live entertainment management program, I actually went into the nonprofit side of things, and I saw one of the areas of greatest need is fundraising. And so my career has gone a number of different places, but I've worked for the Washington Ballet in Washington, D.C. I've worked for Arena Stage, which is another theater company that is in Washington, D.C., the American Pops Orchestra, and now I'm in my first month leading the Georgia Symphony Orchestra as the executive director. Definitely receiving this degree has had an incredible impact on my career. Before I got into this program, I did a music business undergraduate degree, which happened to be in person at the Frost School of Music at the University of Miami. And I wasn't quite sure that that was the career direction I wanted to take in my life. I was really drawn to live entertainment. I was really drawn to nonprofits and orchestras and ballet companies and things like that. And so when I got into this program, I leveraged those skill sets that I had from undergrad, but totally transformed them and took a totally different perspective with the different curricula that is offered by this program.
Great, thank you for sharing that with us. And another question, why did you choose the University of Miami and the Frost School of Music for your online degree program?
Well, like I'd mentioned, I'd been in undergrad at University of Miami as well. And so I already knew the quality of the faculty and the programs at the Frost School of Music. But, when I was looking for a flexible opportunity to be able to continue to extend my education and figure out what aspects of the live entertainment industry I wanted to get involved in, this was the obvious program for me. And, I was one of the first people who came in under Gary Wood's leadership of this program in particular. And so I can say, from the outset, he's just had such a great perspective on leading the program, getting a really multidisciplinary approach to the different aspects of information that's available for you as a student to learn. And so I feel like I came out from that program really being able to do almost anything. You can leverage what you learn from the program to get into marketing in the entertainment industry. You can leverage it to get involved in like fundraising and nonprofit kinds of things. The world is kind of your oyster when it comes to jumping into the live entertainment industry.
Great, thank you. What was a specific highlight of your experience in the live entertainment program?
Well, I had a particularly interesting experience when I started the program. I was doing it on campus, and so I got to be part of a really cool arts project that we put together, which was a video game music concert, and that was just such a neat opportunity to take what I was learning immediately and applying it. But that same experience extended when I got into the online program because I was able to immediately apply what I was learning to the work I was doing while I was doing it. And I think, that was just such a helpful thing for me, because as a person who likes experiential learning, being able to apply what I'm learning while I'm learning it was just perfect. You get to work on the job, see what the needs are, and make sure that you're learning and learning deeply because you're applying it while you're actually studying it. So, a lot of things like we were talking about financial management. I was working for an organization that helps the performing arts field at the time, and I was able to sit down and have long conversations with our finance director about all of the financial concerns of running an organization and applying the concept of cash flow. And actually, finance is not always the most glamorous thing, but if you have a good control over it, it can really make your career really successful.
Cool, great, thank you for sharing. And one final question for you. How did you feel you were supported while in the program by faculty and by classmates?
I definitely did feel supported in the program. As I had mentioned, Professor Gary Wood is very good at interfacing with students and making sure that they have the feedback that they need, that they have the tools they need to be successful. But one of the other teachers in the program, who's also on this webinar, he was very responsive, gave great feedback to my various submissions with the program. And if I had any questions, or if something seemed like it didn't make a whole lot of sense, I could ask the teacher and say, hey, I'm really not sure what you mean by this. Can you clarify? And I feel like I always got the feedback I needed when I was in the program to make sure that as I was learning it, I was learning the right things, the right things were sticking. And the students in the program, it's sort of you choose your own adventure. If you want to get involved with your colleagues and grow with them, you can. If you want to go it solo, you also can do that. It's sort of just how much effort you want to put into developing those relationships. It's not hard to, and I'm really thankful to be part of the alumni network of this program. There's people all over the country who are involved in these programs. And recently I moved back to Georgia, but I had a colleague who graduated from the same program a few years after me, and she and I kept in touch and compared notes while we were both living in Washington, D.C. together. So you definitely have a network of folks who are all working on similar, slightly different things, have different passions and different experiences with the program, and they all mesh together in the end and create a great network of alumni that you can talk to, as well as faculty members who will keep being a resource for you after you graduate the program.
Great, thank you. And yeah, I can also attest that it's so true. Our faculty are there for every student and helping them along the way. And there's really a great network of people. So you always have someone there to help you and help guide you while you're in the program. I'd like to move on to faculty now. We will start with Gary Wood, who's the director of the program. And Gary, can you tell us a bit about your role within University of Miami and how you interact with the online students in the live entertainment management program? Oh, Gary, you might have to unmute. Oh,
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes. Hi, Gary. There you are.
I apologize. I didn't realize. But thank you, everybody, for your patience with my phone call today. And I wanted to say thank you for all the team that put this together and for my colleagues for joining in and helping share some really, really important information. But I would just say that, you know, when it comes to online, there's a great deal of interaction that goes on, both in teams and with individuals, because I really try to, and the program is designed to meet the needs of the individuals. So because live entertainment is so broad and people look at it from operations to every area, touring, you know, whatever it might be, I've really got to be available to answer individual questions for students. So they have access to me basically through email, phone calls. We do live sessions and so forth to make sure that it doesn't feel like you're just staring at a computer. That's really, really important to me. I know it's really important to everybody at the Frost School of Music.
Thank you. How is the curriculum for the Masters in Live Entertainment Management designed? What are some of the key skills and learnings that this program focuses on?
Well, yeah, as Taylor alluded to, there's a great deal of flexibility in the program, given that it's grad students, given the fact that people come with various different levels of experience, and we try to meet and individualize the learning as best we can. So there are 5 core classes that people take so that we are working together on fundamentals of all of the aspects of live entertainment management. But then there's also flexibility in terms of electives, because we, again, want people to be able to design and shape the outcome and make their investment really true to themselves. So it's a core curriculum that's designed to really cover all of the fundamentals of live entertainment management, but at the same time, there's a great deal of flexibility for people to shape it to where they want to go.
Great, thank you. And just jumping off of that, how does the program help students prepare for roles in the live entertainment industry? You talked a little bit about that, but just expand more if you can.
Yeah, my hope is, and I believe it's true when I have continued to work with alums and my current students, is that one of the aspects that I'm attempting to do with the students is really decision making and leadership. So they can step into an institution or an organization and feel like they're making a positive difference from day one. That's really, really important. It's important for the mantra of the university itself, is we're trying to develop creative, innovative leaders, and that's an essential component of this program. So if a student were to graduate and get a really great position in an area that may not be the one that they necessarily were expecting, that they thought, hey, this is really, really great, I'm going to give this a whirl, they're not feeling like they're behind. They're there to make great decisions, to have great vision, and to start leading from day one. So that's an important aspect and culture of the program.
Yeah, that is. Thank you. What are some of the different paths that you've seen graduates embark on upon completing the program, whether it was the online program or the on-campus program?
Yeah, you know, all the students, regardless of on-campus or online, they all have these incredibly diverse paths that they take. But it's also very exciting to follow. But, you know, we have international students who are working in major venues in different countries. But Taylor talked about his ventures in the nonprofit world, which is really true. And some students end up in that path. But a lot of the students, perhaps a slight majority, end up in the commercial world, working for organizations like Madison Square Garden companies. We have a couple working for that. Amazing organization. We have a couple of alums working for Live Nation, who obviously do commercial presentations and live entertainment around the globe. So I can't say that there's any one specific area, but it is across the spectrum of, you know, we've used the term arts presenting in the past, meaning that we work really hard to work with amazing artists to get them up on stage and create amazing experiences for audiences. And that continues. But again, whether it's commercial, nonprofit, doesn't matter. But that's really where people are headed, is some facet of making great events happen. And that's kind of the core feeling of the program today.
Great, thank you. Speaking of just current events with everything kind of being virtual, are there any trends in virtual live entertainment that may present new opportunities for graduates?
Yes, we have a graduate recently who started his own arts presenting and his own entertainment showcase online, and he's doing it as a commercial enterprise where he's earning money and selling tickets, and he's highlighting different bands as they're attempting to get known. It's a very innovative idea. So it's kind of forced forward, I think, things that probably would have happened anyway online, but it just obviously sped things up immensely. I don't think we're ever going to get away from people getting together to have shared experiences, whether it's festivals like Ultra. We have a student working for Ultra, that kind of a major festival. But I do think that the idea that we're isolated and alone when we view something online or participated online is kind of gone, where we can also feel part of a live experience online. So that concept is something now that we talk about in every class, because obviously it's become part of our daily life.
Yeah, thank you. So anything else you'd like to share with us, Gary, about the program, about Frost, the students, just anything you'd like to share about the live entertainment program?
Yeah, I guess I'd like to say that, as you mentioned, Rachel, things are changing, obviously, in the last couple of years, and we're looking at a new future. And I know Professor Sanchez will certainly share his enthusiasm about the future, which he has many times, because he sees what's coming is exciting times ahead. And we've already begun to see concerts coming back and done in new and innovative ways. So I would just say that the program is not based on history and sort of the tried and true, always old-fashioned way that we may have done things. We're taking what we know to be true and what works, and we're fashioning it and making it into real time. And so I believe that if you were to talk to all the students in the program, they would say it's a truly real-time program, because we're talking about and looking at things that are happening today. So again, thanks everybody for joining, and don't hesitate to reach out to me anytime if you need some help.
Thank you, Gary. That was really great, and thank you for answering all of the questions. Unfortunately, I don't think Professor Sanchez will be able to make it today, but I would just like to reiterate what Gary is saying about our program. It is just in live time, real time. Faculty are always updating their curriculum, and they're updating their courses and posting articles, and whether it's Twitter feeds and things in their classes, to make sure students are getting all of the up-to-date information and keeping everyone up to date on the industry, because things are always changing, and it's changing at a rapid pace. So we are always
Rachel,
making sure students receive that. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you mind if I jump in? I was going to say another answer to your question is one thing that I've noticed that's happened over the last few years, and mostly because of the online option, is that the students it's always been a diverse student body, international students of various different cultures and races, and that's great, and I love it. But what I've also noticed is a widening of sort of experience that comes in the program. We get some people who are immediate undergrads. They typically come with some experience, and they're very enthusiastic, great ideas. But we have some people in the program who've been in the industry for 20, even 30 years, who are now coming back to do their master's degree. And I mention that because when they interact together, it's a really, really powerful experience. Yeah, I can gab on forever. You can tell I talk a lot, I'll do that. But it's really, really powerful when people within the program share their life experiences, what they care about now, and what their viewpoint is built on history and whatever experiences they've had. So the diversity in age and experiences, I think, is a real positive to the program. So, it's not something that's always just undergrad. It's not always just 1 or 2 years of experience. Again, we sometimes get people with 20, 30 years of experience, which are in the program now, and that just makes it even more exciting. So I just wanted to toss that out there.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's very true, and that is exciting when that happens in our program. At the Frost School, we're always trying to make you feel like you're part of the Frost family here, and so we do what we can to help you through the program to make sure that you're getting what you need to succeed. So I just want to make sure that everyone here knows that. And also, what's great about being part of Frost is, you can also, if you're ever close to campus, you can come to campus, check out the facilities, check out concerts, and they're live streaming a lot of the concerts now too. So recitals in the recital hall or big concerts in our Gusman concert hall. You can check out those that are live streamed and you can have a connection there. And I also want to mention so we're talking to the Master of Arts in Live Entertainment Management, but we also have 4 certificates that go along with that program as well. And these are 9-credit graduate level certificates. So if you're just looking to get a little bit of a taste of the program and then maybe transfer into the degree, we have certificates in arts presenting fundamentals, arts leadership, arts management, and one in tour and live entertainment administration. So that's another route that students often take, is trying this certificate and then they can transfer that into the degree program. And those are really good options as well. I want to turn it back to Taylor quick. And I just want to ask, what was one of your favorite courses in the program, if you can think of any, or if you have more than one?
Yeah, well, I mean, and I'll be honest, I graduated from the program in 2017, so remembering exactly the specifics is starting to get a little bit fuzzy as the years go by. But I mean, what I can speak to is that in general, the basis of the information that I received in this program has really propelled me forward in my career. I mean, I think about pieces here and there. One thing that Gary really, or Professor Wood drilled into us in the program was a concept when we are planning an arts project to begin with the end in mind. And I will never forget that phrase because it always makes me think about, when I'm trying to announce the season, which we're doing right now with the Georgia Symphony Orchestra, when I'm trying to plan a fundraising event, when I'm trying to plan any kinds of campaigns or approach a project, a presentation that we need to give to a donor, who knows what. It's just imagining what is the best outcome and the outcome that we're wanting from that and the thing that you learn from that. And so I think that was part of the arts presenting project class is what it used to be called. I'm not sure what it's called today, but also there's a great class in leadership in the arts. And one of the things that I really learned from that was to understand the trajectory of my career. And I'm so proud to be able to say that I'm an alumnus of the School of Music of this program, that I've learned what I needed to become the executive director of a symphony. And I hope everyone gets the opportunity to get credentials like the ones that I've earned, enhance your career, move your career forward, and find where you fit in, whether you want to be in charge of a symphony orchestra and the administrative lead of it, or you want to start your own music festival. I think the world is your oyster when you come out of this program.
Thank you. Do you have any advice for prospective students that are checking out this program?
Yeah, well, when you're in the program, it's just sort of being open to learning about anything and to figuring out what direction your life wants to go in. I know that when I came into the program, the nearest thing that I thought I would do with my life was that I was going to maybe start a music publishing company to help my friends who were composers get their music out there and get paid for it. And after even the first class, it was called Performing Arts Centers and Venue Management. The class opened up my mind to the world of the performing arts field as a whole. It helped me find my first job. It kind of set the entire trajectory of my career that I've had for the last 6 years. So just being open to listening and learning and finding out what direction your career can go in, because there's so many aspects of the live entertainment world that you may or may not be aware of, that there's always a place to plug in and a skill set that's needed to see these creative projects through.
Great, thank you. Gary, just turning back to you, a couple more questions. Can you go into more detail about how you connect with the online students, whether it's through live chats or other ways that you connect with them?
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
You can hear me okay?
Yeah, we can. Yep.
Oh, good. I'm sorry. Yes. Well, what I do with online is there really are two options. Typically during a course, there's 2 or 3 live sessions. They're typically voluntary, but I try to vary around. And so people can chime in and come, we can talk about any of the issues that we're working on during that particular part of the course. But also I do a lot of one-to-one. So I always offer that if someone wants to just chat about a project they're working on, a task they're working on, or if they want to talk about their career and so forth. In fact, I have 2 yet today where I'm meeting with some students individually to talk about the course that they're in now. And so I try to be as open and as flexible as I possibly can, and people are really patient and helpful about that. But I also know that people online want to kind of work at their own pace. So I don't pester them every day with do this today, do this tomorrow, do this the next day, because it's not why we do online education. It's not typical to where people are at. So that I try to group the work in a way that allows people to spend time really producing the highest quality work they can and then submit it, but not rush them along and not try to make it something where it's onerous and it's sort of getting in the way of the rest of their life, because that's, again, why we typically don't do online education. So I'm flexible in that regard, because what I really want is people's best work, their best responses to what they're being asked and what they're looking at, and also offering flexibility to say, hey, give me a call or let's Zoom or join the live sessions when you can. And so that's kind of the attitude that I think works best with the online learner.
Great. Yeah, thank you. And the same question that I asked Taylor, do you have any advice for prospective students that are checking out this program?
Well, I like the certificate idea because people can try it out and then they can apply to the full degree if they're satisfied or want to keep moving, because they're going to get a full taste. I don't always know in a class right away whether a person's in a certificate or whether they're fully enrolled right away. So, they're going to get the same exact experience and the same quality. But the other thing I wanted to say too about is that, you're not confined to me. You're not confined to just your classmates. The School of Music, the faculty, the music library, which I use as a resource a lot with my students, the Richter Library. You're a student just like everybody else, and you need to be able to be aware that there are additional resources and opportunities for you to take advantage of that are outside of this particular course or this particular degree. And once students in online begin to realize that, wow, I'm part of the larger university experience, the number of resources and people to talk to just expands. So think about it in terms of the entire university and what it can provide, and not just a single course.
Great, thank you. And I see that Professor Sanchez just joined us. Hi, Ray, thank you for joining.
Hey, thank you.
I'll ask you just a couple questions here. Can you tell us a bit about your role at University of Miami and how you interact with online students in the live entertainment management program?
Right. Yeah, so I am a professor in music business and entertainment industries. I'm also chair of the department that houses both the arts presenting live entertainment program and the music industry program. And I'm also one of the associate deans here. So I wear a number of hats, but one of my favorite things that I've done since I've been here is teaching online courses. I developed some of the first courses, and I really enjoy teaching those. I'm teaching one right now. Like I've been hearing here since I've joined, emphasizing that it's very much the same type of experience as our on-campus in terms of the content. For example, the courses are exactly the same. Me personally, I use my online course assets in my on-campus courses. They're exactly, I make the on-campus students take my online course. Basically, the only difference is that we meet physically to have discussions versus my online courses where we meet virtually to have discussions just like this. That is quite literally the only difference between the two, that we're either on Zoom or in the room. But everything else is 100% the same in terms of content. Obviously, the semester is a little different on campus because that's designed for a different kind of student. In online, we're really looking to service working professionals and folks that, want to accelerate potentially their trajectory in getting a degree. But in terms of the the content and in terms of the interactions with professors, it's very much the same.
Great.
Yeah.
How would you say the program helps students prepare for roles in the live entertainment industry?
Well, it's exactly the same as our on campus. That question applies whether it's online or on campus. So the entertainment industry is extremely broad. There's so many places in that ecosystem, and it's relatively mysterious to a person on the outside. One of the things that we do, all our professors are very good at unpacking that and helping students see possibilities. We have a number of alums that have, throughout this business and throughout that ecosystem, worn a number of different hats. Others that just landed in one place and been there their whole careers. But by understanding the big picture and how these pieces interact, you may better find a better fit for you and your skill sets. So for instance, if you're a person that likes to work alone, likes to crunch numbers and likes stability, and 9 to 5, you might be someone working in licensing or royalties or something in the back office type environment in a publisher, performing rights organization, record label, concert hall, whatever. If you're a person that likes a lot of change and likes fast-paced projects that begin and end, that type of thing, wow, a lot of areas of live entertainment are just right for you. You like staying up late at night, and doing a lot of things. So we help navigate all of that, and we have a number of courses that focus on all those little corners of that ecosystem.
Great, thank you. And I'm going to ask if there's anything else you'd like to say about Frost and the Frost School. I mean, one thing I'd like to point out is Frost is all over the map. Right now, Ray is in Aspen for the Jazz Festival that Frost is hosting. And there's also a festival going on in Napa at the same time with some of our other faculty. So anything else you'd like to share about Frost and what we're doing?
Yeah, it's a very special place. We're a small school, relatively speaking, certainly compared to the other folks that offer online programs as well. Those are much bigger than us. But us being small in the way we are, our online program grew very much and is growing very much as an extension of our on-campus program. So we like to think that we offer the same kind of experience of that personalized approach. But yes, I'm here in Aspen. I actually just left a class of jazz musicians explaining to them exactly that we're talking about, the ecosystem of the music industry, copyright, which is what I teach online, and all of that. And then we have some other faculty in Napa right now in a classical music festival. For a school our size, we're extremely comprehensive. So we have very strong classical music, very strong jazz, and very strong contemporary music. I mean, we're probably one of two schools that can say that, where all genres of music, or the great majority of genres in the ecosystem of the music industry, are represented at a very high level. And what that means is that you get to interact with people that are connected to very interesting corners. The other thing I want to bring up is our alumni base. We started music industry education in the 1960s. So our network is very wide and very deep. And there is very much a Miami thing. When you meet an alum from another era that you didn't even know, there's an immediate connection there, and that's an advantage.
Great, thank you. Thank you to Gary, Ray, and Taylor for answering all of our questions. And at this time, I'd like to turn it back to Liz to close out the session.
Absolutely. Well, I want to second Rachel in thanking you all so much for your time. I know you've got a lot going on, and this truly is just a game changer for our prospective students or even students that are getting ready to enter the program. I mean, these are questions that we get daily, and while I and our other enrollment advisors are excited to answer them for students, we know that at the end of the day, it's talking to the faculty, talking to our amazing program director and our alums that truly make the difference. So I sincerely appreciate all of your times and students, with that being said, want to wrap up and letting you know that our final application deadline, is shortly around the corner. It's Monday, August 16th. So if you have watched this and you know, yes, I absolutely want to work with these incredible people, start your application and we would love to talk to you more. It is free to apply as well, so don't let that stop you from moving forward. In addition, because you joined today, we are excited to be able to offer you our $300 deposit fee waiver. So you decide to apply, you're admitted, you don't have to worry about paying that deposit. We're going to go ahead and waive that for you. So just be sure to connect with your enrollment advisor and we can talk you through that process. In addition to the application deadline, the financial aid deadline is Monday, August 16th as well. So same date to keep it easy for you guys. If you're looking to utilize financial aid, again, be sure to connect with one of our enrollment advisors and we can walk you through the FAFSA and other options, as well as our scholarships that these incredible group is willing to extend to you. Again, if you have any questions, if there's something that we did not cover today, please be sure to reach out to us. You can find our number. You can also submit a chat if that's easier for your schedule. And of course, there's the link to start the application. But again, want to thank our listeners for tuning in as well, taking the time out of your busy schedules. We sincerely appreciate the time. And again, if you had to skip out, feel free to watch this over again and let us know if we can help you further. But I appreciate your time. Go Canes, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.